What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to Off the Cut Reviews. That's right, I'm back after God only knows how long of not posting anything at all. On that note, shout out to Jared Joaquin underscore the Joker on Instagram for sending me a really nice, encouraging message, just encouraging me to get back into making these videos. Life got super busy and still kind of is, but uh, I figured, we've got so much great stuff going on right now, it would be fun to talk about some of it. DC Fandome is about 6 days away as of today, and I figured it would be fun to just kind of make a quick video talking about what I hope we get out of it, just off the cuff thoughts. Uh, rather than spending time talking about what we know we're getting, like, a trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League and all those things, like, that's all exciting, but let's talk about what we hope we get that they're, like, not revealing yet. First of all, WB Montreal Games has a slot for an announcement later in the day on the day of DC Fandome, and all the inside reports say it's another Arkham game, and I sure hope it is. I hope that it is a follow-up to Arkham Origins. Arkham Origins had that post-credit scene that featured Amanda Waller going to Deathstroke in his jail cell and trying to recruit him to the Suicide Squad. I hope that that is basically connective tissue for this game, especially because Rocksteady just announced they're doing a Suicide Squad game. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, and it would be interesting if those games are set in the same universe and tie together. I hope Kevin Conroy comes back to voice Batman again, but Roger Craig Smith did a fantastic job in Arkham Origins, so depending on the timeline, it would be also fine to have him back. Other things I'm hoping we get, obviously the big one is I'm hoping we get a Ben Affleck is returning to the role of Batman announcement. I have a very strong suspicion we're going to get that announcement at DC Fandome. Maybe it is the mystery movie slot. They have a slot for like an unrevealed movie. So I'm hoping that's what that is. But whether it goes to the big screen or HBO Max, it would just be fantastic to have him back. And have him be able to tell the story he was working on, because his Batman script was supposed to be fantastic from what we know of it. Outside of that, one thing I'm really hoping for actually is I hope we get a Blu-ray box set announcement for Superman the Animated Series. We have Batman TAS, we have Batman Beyond, even shows like Teen Titans are on Blu-ray now. It would be nice if primarily shows like Superman TAS, but also shows like The Batman would migrate to Blu-ray as well. And this feels like, the right time to make such an announcement. Outside of that, one of the big things, obviously, kind of goes without saying at this point, since I've gone on about it in other videos, I would really like to see the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad officially confirmed at DC Fandome, and it would be nice if they could put like a year or a specific date, ideally, on it, so that we know when we can look forward to actually watching it. That would be fantastic. If they could whip together a trailer, that would be even more fantastic. But just the announcement would be more than enough. And I think I would say I strongly believe that is going to be announced at Fandome. Affleck and the Ayer cut, I think, are things that are very realistic to expect. I would really like a Man of Steel 2 announcement. That I don't know whether that's quite as likely. The reason being that Henry Cavill is contractually obligated to 3 seasons of The Witcher for Netflix. Once that contract is up, or if they can find a way to shoot around it, like, okay, this time is blocked out for Man of Steel 2, that time's blocked out for The Witcher. If he can do that, that would be fantastic, and, we would be getting it sooner probably, but if not, it might cause some schedule delays, just because he's already, obligated to that show. Um, as I predicted, DC Universe, all of the shows, all the content from DC Universe is officially migrating to HBO Max. Uh, that marks sort of the beginning of what I've predicted, which is that not only that would that happen, but I think DC Universe uh, may become more like a dedicated server for just comics, like a digital comic library, and maybe an exclusive merchandise store and things like that. Or it may cease to exist entirely pretty soon, which was my original prediction. And all of that content could be folded into HBO Max, because everything that goes to HBO Max makes that service that much more appealing, and it really has a wider audience appeal because it has stuff like The Matrix and a bunch of shows and movies like Friends, and Friends is on there, right? Yeah, yeah, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and all these things that aren't DC related but that have the ability to draw an audience. So I think pretty soon that's going to be unveiled. That could be at Fandome that they talk about some of that. But regardless, changes obviously in the wind there. The writing's been on the wall for a little while. Recently, DC, AT&T and WB and all those guys, they laid off a bunch of people, and AT&T's restructuring a lot of WB and a lot of DC, and that included shutting down their DC Direct merchandise line, which a lot of people are kind of panicking about right now on social media. And I honestly, if it puts your mind at ease, I don't think there's really a reason to worry. The sad thing about it is a lot of people got laid off. That's always sad, and that shouldn't be minimized. But in regards to, oh no, where are we, what happens to our DC toy lines and what happens to the merchandising, I think it's going to be fine. I think they are already, it can't be a coincidence this is happening. That happened like 2 weeks before Fandome. We are now like 6 days from Fandome. It's not a coincidence that there is an incredibly high likelihood that we will get some kind of information about what DC's merged line and everything looks like going forward. Maybe some better perspective on how they're restructuring everything. But I would not hit the panic button just yet. They're making money off their merchandise. They're not just going to shoot it in the foot. So hold back on hitting that panic button and reserve judgment, and let's see what happens, because DC and AT&T have been making some really good decisions lately. Those are my major asks. I would love a full slate announcement of like, here's what DC movies are coming in the future. I would absolutely lose my mind with excitement if they announced like a Jared Leto Joker movie, or a Jared Leto Joker and Margot Robbie Harley Quinn movie, that Mad Love movie that was, they had a script for it and everything, and then they just shelved it. It would be really great to see that, get put back into motion. But that may happen. There's a rumor circulating that Glenn Ficarri will announce it, but I don't know that I believe that. I'd like to. I hope for it. But as rumors go, I'm kind of filing that one under like low to mid likelihood, and just I am hoping for it. But whether it happens now or not, I think there's a much better chance of more Jared Leto Joker and really more of Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn after the Ayer cut releases. Once that kind of makes a splash and we really get to see the true performances and the true story in that movie, I think that'll help things a lot, and it'll generate a lot of positive buzz. But until then, I'd like more, but I don't know that it's realistic to expect huge announcements like dedicated movies for them until the Ayer cut is released. So, yeah. Yeah, those are my big asks, my big hope fors from DC Fandome. More casting, I'm sure, is going to be revealed. more more movies, more details of story. We know we're getting trailers for things. This is going to be a huge event for DC fans. We have every reason to be extremely excited right now. But those are things that, you know, that would be kind of my rough list of like, here are some things I would love to see happen. But regardless, I will not see you at DC Fandome, even though we'll all be watching, because nothing happens physically in 2020, and it's really stupid. Yeah, anyhow, those are my thoughts on that. I will try to be a little more consistent about getting on and making videos. It's kind of just life right now. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. That way I can see you next time.